This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Prime in association with Micromax.
Hi, and thanks for watching On Art. I'm Anu Subramanian. Tonight, photographer Aditya Arya shows us his collection of antique cameras, and we learn about the ways that Parsi culture has impacted not just our economy, but even our art. After that, we'll see a Bharatanatyam-Kathak fusion performance that takes on a most unusual topic, drugs and HIV. This is On Art. This spring, 3 of Delhi's premier art institutions focused on celebrating Parsi culture. We went inside what makes this small population make such a huge impact. Parsi people make up a small fraction of the Indian population. There are only 70,000 Parsi men and women in the whole country. And yet, the lasting influence of these people is tremendous. Since a small group of Parsi men and women arrived in India 1,200 years ago, they have been influential in shaping the country's economy, art, music, even technology. Mumbai and Gujarat have the largest share of India's Parsi population. But recently, a series of exhibitions about Parsi culture were held across New Delhi at the National Museum, Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, and National Gallery of Modern Art. Each show honed in on a different facet of Parsi history or culture, shining light on Zoroastrian ancient traditions which began in Iran, and how those have bloomed in new ways here in India. Dr. Shehnaz Kama curated the show at IGNCA and has been involved with all 3 of the exhibitions.
One of the aims is to record a dying community, very frankly, because demographically we are declining very rapidly. The second point is to show the world what is a Parsi and what is a Zoroastrian. And India's got many minorities, very few as small as the Parsis, and very few as old as the Parsis. This is a Bronze Age civilization which has contributed and continues to contribute in the 21st century.
At Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, their show, titled Threads of Continuity, put everyday life at the center, displaying traditional garments, instruments, books.
It is the product of 20 years of oral tradition recording. So whatever you see in Threads of Continuity is actual live people in their homes, and the objects you see are from their homes, and they've been collected because of our research in the oral traditions.
The National Gallery of Modern Art introduced a crucial element of Parsi history to its audience: trading. For hundreds of years, Parsi traders along the coasts have worked as seamen, facilitating trade between Britain and China.
This deals with the visual language and the impact of culture and the cross-pollination of sensibilities that trade brings about. The Parsis that are known for their entrepreneurship and bringing in a great deal of philanthropy into the country. How and what truly happened during this 300 years of this phenomenal encounter with China.
The exhibition goes into Parsi people's bloody involvement in China's Opium Wars. And the National Gallery of Modern Art saw itself to be uniquely positioned to tell this story.
It becomes far more important to have these exhibitions in Delhi, where exposure on the community, and their contributions to the community is rather not so well known as opposed to Bombay, where a larger cross-section of them live in.
The exhibitions were bid farewell with an address about Parsi culture by writer Amitav Ghosh.
They would have journeyed to the Straits of Malacca.
His novel, called River of Smoke, focused on Parsi traders during the Opium Wars.
This enormous influence, the transformative influence which they had, on modern Indian public culture, modern Indian pop culture. In general, when Indians think of how modern India came into being, they think of it as a process of sort of copying from the West. Cricket. Parsis were instrumental in introducing cricket to India, I mean, they were amongst the first to take up cricket. And I think they actually took up cricket in China. The Parsis really, in many, many different ways, many different fields, they really helped to create modern India.
We recently met legendary photographer Aditya Arya, who showed us around his collection of unique classic cameras and told us about what got him started in the business. Let's find out more, shall we?
Being a little mechanically oriented, I started looking into the history of the cameras and how the cameras evolved and what led to what. So, it's like a long journey, but it all started with the camera. Hi, I'm Aditya Arya. I'm a photographer. So I came into photography because I wanted to travel, visit places, see places, work with people, and photography was one genuine reason, and where somebody could pay you to do what you really wanted to do. And one thing led to another thing. From travel photography, I moved into advertising photography. Shooting portraits is how does a photographer capture the essence of that personality, his technical finesse, his aesthetic finesse, and how there is something called spontaneity, whether he's been able to merge the technical, the spontaneity, and the aesthetic in the same picture.
Stick around. On Art, we'll be right back after a short break.